Back again today for more story times, more paranormal story times. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, I will put the link in the description box down below. There was actually, if you look really close in the background, especially towards the end, there's a lot of orbs flying around in that video. We might see some today too, but that's really interesting, so look for those. I guess today we're going to do some stories about the house that we stay in now, especially after seeing all those orbs yesterday. I feel like that was pretty interesting. And, yeah, but first I'll start off by saying that the energies, spirits, whatever, in this house, I feel are more fairy, like more playful, and I felt some negative things in this house before, but for the most part this house, like the spirits here are like really playful and seem to really be attracted to me. Like the orbs that we saw yesterday, I actually see all the time in this house, and period, like I see them a lot. So I don't know if it's me or if it's that they follow around or if it's the house. So who knows? I guess the first story that I will tell is about my earrings. I had these sugar skull earrings, and they were silver, but it was like stamped. Like the sugar skull was like stamped onto the silver and then cut out of it. And they were really pretty, and they weren't very expensive, but they were just like a pair of my favorite earrings in the world. I wear them all the time, and I have a jewelry rack in my bathroom that I hang all my jewelry on when I'm not wearing it. And I would always take them off before I got in the shower or the bath and put them on that jewelry rack. So I, had these earrings for a while at this point, and I like hang them on the jewelry rack, and then I go to get them the next day to wear them again, and they're gone. I don't know where they went. There's no one in this house that would, like, take them, like, steal them or whatever. Like, they were just gone. Like, I knew that I put them there. And they weren't there anymore. So, and then I was like, well, that was weird. And, like, at first I was like, well, maybe I just, like, thought that I had put them there and had thought, that's what I did. Or maybe I worked at, Great Clips at the time, actually. And I was like, well, maybe I took them off at work. I left them at work, and I just, I'm so used to doing that I like genuinely thought that that's what I did. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go buy another pair. Again, they weren't expensive. They were like cheap. I mean, they say silver, but they probably weren't real silver. It was like costume jewelry. I just really liked them. And so I went back and got another pair because after I couldn't find them, I was like, I really like those, So I went back and got another pair. And again, I wore them a lot and always put them in the same place. I was like, I'm not going to lose this pair. I really like these. So again, I put them back in the same place on my jewelry rack, and again, they go missing. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, that time I know I put them on the jewelry rack. Like, there was no doubt in my mind that that's where they were. So I was like, okay, that's really strange. So I'm like, I'm going to go buy one final pair, because I looked everywhere for these earrings. They were nowhere. They weren't in my car. They weren't at work. No one had borrowed them. Like, they were just gone. So I was like, okay, I'll buy one more pair of these earrings. So I buy one more pair, and again, that pair goes missing the same way. And the reason that I think it was paranormal is because I honestly, genuinely think a lot of the energy in this house is fairy. Like, fairies like shiny things. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive shiny things. They just like shiny. So, I think that they liked the way they looked and just took them. And at that point, I was like, okay, like, I'm not getting any more of these earrings, obviously. They want them more than me. So, I'm just gonna give up on that whole... I miss them all the time, though. I really love those earrings. But, and the second story relative to that same theme is the time I saw... I guess I would call it a brownie, which a brownie, like there's fae and then there's brownies, and I see brownies, like my opinion, I see brownies as like more gnome type creatures, like larger fairies that, like, not the little fairies that you see that, like, fly around and, like, Tinkerbell, but, like, gnomes, like, little goblin type gnomes. So, there was, I don't even remember, like, what I was doing. I was in our hallway, right outside this doorway behind me. There's our doorway to our bedroom is literally straight across the hallway from it, so it's like this. And then there's a hallway, and at the end of that hallway is the bathroom. And I think I was just like going to the bathroom or something. I wasn't, like nothing weird was going on or anything like that. It was literally just a normal day. It was like late afternoon, probably like 5-ish, but so I go to walk towards the bathroom, and we have a beaded curtain in our bedroom. And I see a, I want to call it a brownie, but it was like in shadow to me. It was just like a shadow creature. But it ran from this room into our bedroom, straight across the hallway, like really fast, like almost as fast as like you would see a cat move, but it was like a person. It was like my hip height, and I'm only 5 foot tall, so it wasn't that big, but it was like my hip height, and like very distinctively had like arms and was on 2 legs and a head. Like it looked like a little person, like a little dwarf. And it ran across the hall. And at first I was like, that's just my mind playing tricks on me or, whatever. But then the beaded curtain in our room shook like someone ran through it. And I was like, okay. Like that was a thing. That was real. I just saw that. And this room that I'm in right now, oddly enough, that we saw those orbs yesterday, is it seems very active. Like it seems very, and not in a negative way, it just like little things happen. But this door, there's a door right over here in the corner actually that leads into another bedroom. And that door, like, this was before we had children. Like, we don't, like, this was way before our daughter came along, but it was like the first couple years that we lived in this house. There was a child's size, I'm not saying it was a child, but it was a child's size handprint on this door right around the time I saw that brownie go across the hall. And I have no clue where it came from. And it, like, I don't even know, like, how it would have been imprinted on the door. Like, when little kids, like Gypsy does it a lot now, but like little kids will have put their handprints on things, like their fingers are greasy or like dirty or whatever. This handprint, like, it didn't look like grease, it didn't look like water, like it was just like a white imprint on the door right below the doorknob. Like some little thing was like trying to reach up for the doorknob. And I was like, that's weird, And again, we had no children in this house at that time. Like, there was no way that it was a child. And the people who lived in this house before us did have children, but that was not on the door when we moved in. Like, we went through and, like, scrubbed this whole house clean before we moved in. So I know for a fact that it was just, like, there one day. And it took me a while to notice it, even. Like, I just, like, went to go open that door or something, and I was like, whose handprint is this? Like, I put my hand to it, because, again, I'm small, like, I'm a petite person, and I thought that maybe it was my handprint. I was like, well, maybe, I put my hand on the door, my hand's small, but my hand, it was bigger than my hand, and again, I have tiny hands, like, my ring size is, like, a 4.5, like, I'm small, but it was smaller than my hand, and, like, bigger than Gypsy's hand would be, like, she's 2, so it's not, like, again, she wasn't even alive at that time. She wasn't even thought of at that time. But like it was bigger than like a 2-year-old's. Like very strange. And I, told my husband about it, and he was like, okay, like we were both really weirded out by it. And I went to go show someone the handprint when they came to our house one day, and it was gone. Like it just disappeared off the door. And like my husband can vouch for this. Like he saw that handprint on that door, and I had even showed it to a couple of our other friends, and like one day it was just gone, and nobody had cleaned it up. Like nobody had wiped it off. It just disappeared. Weird. So that's just a couple of the interesting things that seem to happen in our house. I'm trying to think of one more. I had one more. Let me see. there's so many stories in this. Oh yes, the animals. The fact that I've always had animals since we've lived in this house. Like, I've always had a cat, or we have our dog, Rusco, or like whatever. We've always had animals in our house at one point or another. And whatever it is in this house constantly, like, loves to imitate our animals pretty much. Like, I will see my animal, like, out of the corner of my eye, like our cat or our dog. We have two cats. So one of the cats, or like our dog, and it will just not be them. Like, there's been times when I've, like, especially the cats. It seems to do the cats a lot more than Rusco, but like, I'll see the cat. Like, I will see it with my physical eyes, like, walk into a room with all the doors and windows shut. Like, I assume they've just been in the house for a while. They just, like, wander around the house and do their own thing. They sleep in all kinds of corners in this house, but I'll see them with my physical eyes and then realize both of the cats are outside. And I'm like, then what was that that I just saw? And one particular story had to do with Rusco. And I was doing laundry, and our dryer used to be in our bedroom, and I was going in there to get the clothes out of the dryer. And like I said, we have a beaded curtain, and then our bed, and on this side of the bed is just like the room, and then on this side of the bed, is our dryer. And I had walked to the dryer, and I heard and saw Rusco come in behind me. The curtain went as I came through, and then it went again as Rusco came through. I watched him walk to that other side of the bed. His bed's on that side of the bed, so I assumed he was just, like, going in there to lay down. And I got the clothes out of the dryer, and I didn't hear the curtain again. Like, nothing went in or out. Like, it was just us in there. We were just hanging out. And I go to walk out. I'm like, come on, Rusco. And he didn't come. And I was like, okay, like, and so I walked around to where his bed is, and he wasn't in it. And I was like, he came in here with me. Like, I know he did. I saw him come in here with me. I heard him come in here with me, and I didn't hear him leave. And I was only in there for, like, a minute or two. Like, I was not in there long. Again, long enough to pull the clothes out of the dryer, put them in a basket so I could carry them in the other room. And so I go in the living room, and he's asleep on the couch. Like, asleep, like, sprawled out on the couch. He had never gotten up. But something was in that room with me. So that's also really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stories about this house particularly, about the fairies in my house, about the spirits in my house. I have some really interesting sleep paralysis videos if you guys are interested in seeing any of that. I have some really interesting dreams that I feel like are paranormal related, just because of the way that, I react with the world and the world reacts with me. But so if you guys are interested in those, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any of your own paranormal stories that you would like to tell me, that would be awesome. I love hearing you guys' paranormal stories. Like, that's the whole reason I started doing this in the first place. Like, I love it. So if you guys have any of those, leave those in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more of these. I'm going to try to do these a couple days a week. Hopefully. Again, I'm a mom, so I just have to, like, find the time to throw these together and do it. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.